Sure.
And we're live. We're live. Naturally Gnar. This is episode 2. I did a pre-tape like early this week, so I had to think about it with Forrest Nelson of The Groove.
Groove Skate Shop.
How you doing, dude? If you can get that mic up into you.
Right here.
Yeah, there it is.
Awesome.
How you doing?
Doing well. It's been a pretty cool year so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, that's me. Got my monitor. Heard myself talking twice.
Did you change the font
Yeah, so
since last time I was here?
sure, I'll talk about myself for a second. So, we just redid the name of the show, Naturally Gnar. It was because we had a conflict of name of people on the internet, and I admitted to it. And yeah, I mean, it was just like, it was another thing called GnarCast, and like they had their own thing. It was like a metal podcast. And, I said, let's make a show that's like more about us anyways, more close to home,
It happens.
and like this Naturally Gnar is kind of like showcasing like what we do and like what people in Arkansas who do other Gnar stuff in the area, we want to talk about it, showcase it, and like shine light to it. So the thing that we said on, it's funny, I'm telling the future right now because this is going to air next week. We said that this show is telling the story of Northwest Arkansas, and telling that story would have to include the Groove.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Slide that one like just
Right
as
up in
close
here.
to as you can, and
Awesome.
Seriously, you can like move it around, get it all up in your grill.
Eat the mic.
Eat that mic. If you can hear yourself, then we can hear you.
Awesome.
How many locations has the Groove had up to this point? 2024.
A few. Officially, we've had 2. So we started in downtown Springdale.
Okay.
Really small, like 200 square feet.
Yeah, the
And
OG
grew-
location.
Yeah, is awesome. Cute little place. And we grew extremely fast. We did Bentonville the next year, which was great, and which we would still have, but we kept those rolling for about 2 years.
Okay.
And about a year and a half back in Bentonville, when we were moving around, downsizing to some new spots, I fell through the ceiling and broke my spine. So
Oh yeah,
so
you
that was-
told me that story.
it was
Yeah.
not fun at all.
Right.
So we kind of took a step back, and also with the COVID sales, that was kind of a one-time thing in history that, this everybody's outdoor, everybody's wanting this thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped our industry as well. So now those things have kind of slowed down, and we're back to where, what a normal skate shop in an area with support would be, which we're down to one location. We may or may not expand again. We'll see what happens.
No, honestly, that's like the fairest assessment of what should be. Is
Right.
like what an area can support.
Right.
And like, we've seen people try to take it to its extremes, and even you guys, like, trying to, multiple locations,
Yeah. And
opening up and do, like, you were working on an indoor skate park.
You learn a lot along the way of what is possible and what's not.
Yeah.
Dreams are awesome, and the community you're
Damn right.
supporting and their dreams are awesome, and going for that is awesome.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you've got to pay the bill on it. And
Sure.
the reality is Northwest Arkansas is a hard nut to crack to be able to support that size of an indoor,
Yeah.
that type of scene, and it comes and goes. So you're going to have a great year and you're going to have a bad year, and you got to be able to roll with that.
Dude. Yeah.
Or you close your doors.
Yeah, it's crazy. With good years and bad years, was it for you guys? Was it 21 or 22 that was like the height, or I guess 2021?
2021 were massive, unprecedented sales.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was just the natural thing from COVID. People are literally just trying to get out of their house.
Yeah.
And we fit that demand really well.
For sure.
One thing that helped with that is we kind of stepped back. We got a lot of pushback from the street side, where we kind of stepped back a little bit and really started focusing on families. families and parks and getting people out there to do stuff together. And
Sure.
so that really was a great direction for us.
Right.
It worked.
Mm-hmm.
And we really wasn't sure if it was going to, but it turned out really great for us and really great for the community. So,
yeah. Well, I always feel like, you need you really need like there needs to be a street component to a skate shop or skate shops in an area, but there also needs to be something that caters to kids, schools, stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to be able to get the first man. You got to be able to get that first one somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Brad, you used to do back in the skate station days. You were doing the clinics.
Doing them in the mornings before I worked all day.
Yep, and that was a long time ago. So it's like, even back then, I feel like it was needed. You know. And even today, I would actually maybe even argue it might be more needed. Do you guys still do? You were working on that at one time. I don't know where you were at with that.
We actually did a lot of lessons. We worked with a lot of groups that like outreach for the community, like with Crystal Bridges. And out of those things, we pulled some lessons and some things in. For the last year, we've been resetting. I've just come back to work. My family did an awesome job running the shop. But I've just now back. So we are now instituting those after school programs, training,
gotcha.
That. And we do a lot with rollers. So our time is split.
Right.
We got a big split on our time because we do that roller skate side, which is pretty big.
I should say it's grown pretty big in Northwest Arkansas just in the last, 5 or 10 years. It's really exploded.
Yeah, for sure.
Compared to then.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic, and lessons is one of the biggest things that's out there that's hard to find, but also finding somebody that is qualified, safe, has some certifications,
dedicated,
and they're willing
dedicated
to get
to
out there and
the
do
craft.
And that's a different animal. There's a lot of work that goes into that to be able to offer that product to anyone, where you've got a really good package and it's sustainable
and stand by that. The shop can stand by, and it's something you can like put your name on.
Absolutely.
I think we talk about this all the time too, about how having a skate shop in Northwest Arkansas being so difficult, having another component to rely on, like roller skate. Like we've said it all the time, like you got to think outside the box.
You really do.
Yeah, you can't just have the one lane. I mean, it sucks. I would love to have a core shop, but I don't know many people that don't have extra stuff in there.
I see it in bigger cities,
sure.
In bigger metro areas where the skate scene's a lot larger, just demographically. The number of users in that user group is identifiable to say, like, yeah, we can sustain something like, I don't know, like $10,000 monthly lease payment, you know, like
that's wild. That's
a wild thing to
think.
A skate shop can cover.
That comes and goes. So when you're in that level, and I think we were pulling in the high 20s there for a while during COVID, monthly. And so whenever you're doing that kind of business, your first instinct is to expand, grow, do it. But
and that's what I mean.
Within 3 months, that can change, and literally, you're doing 10% of that, and that's kind of more like normal sales for a shop.
That's true.
I know we're supposed to get like what are we supposed to get, like 500,000 people in Northwest Arkansas over the next whatever
for like the metro sprawl.
I still don't think that will solve our, I don't know how to call it, lack of.
You have to have a service and a package.
Dense amount of people skating.
Yeah.
Just to support a shop. So.
Yeah, I think there's a couple elements. It's not just like the amount of skaters, but it's like is that area built in some way, some sort of supportive components are in place. I think about like Denver, because like Denver was pretty open to just start dropping parks. I mean, just open up and just start the Denver metro area. Like they just started opening up, and then the rest of the caught on. I know that a lot of that came from Pacific Northwest, Dreamland expansion.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, when the cities embrace it, I guarantee the shops in that area were like,
Sick.
Like,
yeah,
let's go.
They have a place right down the street to do a contest or a demo.
Sure.
Like,
and that's the thing. Northwest Arkansas, finding key players that have enough power to go in and say, hey, we need to bring this to everybody's attention. That's a hard thing. You know, it's really common for a shop to come in. We've been through this where you find somebody that's into it and they're going to back you, and you get in there and you spend 3 years of working, and then they move, change the job, and then that's out. So we don't really have people at the very top going, hey, this is an amenity we can use, and you really need somebody in there to push that. Otherwise, it's not that they don't want it. They just simply, it's not on the radar.
It's like any like president saying that they're going to do something during a certain term, and it's like, yeah, if I can get it done during my term, we'll do it.
That'd be awesome.
You know, but if like I think of like lights at the Fayetteville Park. I'm sure that somebody throughout the 20 years that didn't have him, they were like, oh yeah, we should do that. And then like they just never get to it. Then they get a new job. Then
transferred over here.
Yeah, and then the new guy's into play equipment or
pickleball,
frisbee, whatever's going on that time. If they're into that or they have someone they're supporting, that's where you're going to get that.
Yeah.
Oh, we got comments coming in. Let's go. Hush. Appreciate you stopping by. I better turn this off because I'm going to blow this up. But yeah, so I think that's one of the things that I really hope that, like, you know, I don't know how much we can get into it on this show, but you know, I know that, you know, so we're both in Springdale. Everybody, don't kill me. Please don't find my house to kill me. I am in Springdale. But, you know, like with shops in Springdale, students in Springdale. And it seemed like we were about to get something in Springdale. Like something was going to happen with Springdale, and then it just like left.
It really does. A lot of that has to do with the same thing. If you've got people in positions that are doing something, but things change. Let's say property opens up, so the projects totally take another turn. You've got awesome players like Jones Center that has the ability to have property and put in, but somebody's got to fund that.
Yeah,
we've got the city that's got it. We've got the place. We may have had money set aside, promises may be made or not, but in the end, it's got to be initiated. And when they change it for a condo, change it for a different park, then everything kind of gets scrapped and started over.
Right.
Getting those small amenities, to them it's small amenities. To us it's a big deal. But to get those put back in there after they decide to scrap it all and redesign it, it's a hard thing to do. You're basically on our end.
You're starting over.
You're starting over, so you got to go back to everybody, find somebody that'll back you. And that's pretty much anyone. Anyone's going to have to do that.
It's almost weird. It's almost like, you guys don't remember us? You don't remember what we talked about?
Well, the people that we were working with, they're not even there. They're gone. They've moved on, got promoted, changed jobs. And so
moved cities.
When that happens, it's dead with them usually. And the new guy comes in and, hey, it's a whole new set of plans. And you can't really fault them for that. They're doing a heck of a job running the town and running the city and doing good work. They've got a lot of work to do. So
and
you know, sometimes when we're on the fringes and we're just getting in there, the sight gets lost to that.
Yeah, and it's easy for us on this side to be like, you forgot about us, and then we're this small voice when there's a lot of voices going on for a lot of things that they're involved in. And skateboarding has always been like not priority.
Yeah,
like outside of
to
priority.
change it, but that's for real.
Yeah.
You can't, but you have to go in there with an open mind, with some information, with a proposal. You got to go in and sit down and talk to the people you need to talk to.
Yeah.
The old days of the skaters going in and going to a meeting and jumping up and barking and speaking up and complaining in the way that we're known for. I mean, we rise up and we talk loud.
Yeah.
And when that happens, we're not heard. Yeah. Well, and I've been there too, but we're not heard.
Right.
And that's a really hard lesson for our industry to learn on the street side, because we want it bad. The kids want it, the skaters want it, the older skaters want it. We've got kids now, and we're like, man, it was awesome back in the day.
Yeah.
And we want to provide some of that to this generation as well, but we can't walk in there and take up arms at a meeting like we used to. We're going to have to do it a different way.
No. Operating in this era, I definitely think the rules have changed. Like the playing ground, the battlefield's changed a little bit. And skateboarding's taken an interesting role in like, I want to say the zeitgeist of an area or the identity of an area.
Right.
And, it's with Gnarkansas, we always kind of felt that, coming in, especially like when there wasn't other people around supporting us. Like when you're like one of a few and you're trying to push something, you're really not being heard.
You're not being seen at all.
You're not being seen. Yeah. But then when more shops open, other skate communities build and grow and foster, cities see that and they're like, oh, there's a scene here. There's something to be had here. And I think we needed that. We needed that larger, insurgence of shops, skaters, skate scenes, and I guess in the Venn diagram we're looking at all these different skate bubbles around, but it makes something that a city can look at and say there might be something here. Yeah, there might be something behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not the biggest proponent of the Olympics, but I think if anything, maybe that'll help. That'll also help people's scenes. Like, look how huge this is. Holy crap.
It has changed it for us.
We can raise kids like that. Like, yeah, you can. You can raise Olympians in a freaking concrete park or a vert ramp.
I mean, okay, I had to hop in here. My opinion recently changed on the Olympics.
I'm just like
in the last couple days. Okay,
so I'm not anti, but I'm not pro. I can't explain.
I get it. Okay, my insider information. I'm not going to name any names, but we were told in the skateboard industry, all of us part of this have heard this same thing, that the Olympics were going to boost skateboarding, the industry itself, through various means. All of this kind of ancillary growth that comes off of the build of it. We were promised that in an industry, and like we were all kind of like, good, finally, we're gonna need this. We need these marketing dollars as an industry. We need this, and then to later find out, after we've had some Olympic burn time, to find out that people that were involved in the Olympics are trying to make a name or something for themselves, and like any Olympian would, create a career, and they're like putting out boards and not selling anything, and they were like involved in the Olympics in major ways, and their
board sales didn't skyrocket.
No. And
but I wonder if they had deals that weren't boards that catered to non-skateboarders, like that kid Yager Eaton.
Yeah,
like he's like, if it was the 80s, he'd be on like Teen Idol Mag, dude. I mean,
sure. Well, and that,
I mean, if his board sales didn't skyrocket, that's like.
But I mean, like, that's what I mean by like the landscape changed is like, it's like back then. Yes, if the Olympics existed for skateboarding, then
it would have been it would have been a whole different.
They would have been
atmosphere.
on every Frosted Flakes box,
straight up,
Wheaties,
straight up. Yeah. Barry Bonds equivalent.
Yeah,
Barely
Retton type stuff.
Yep.
I see that. I see it, and I see what they said versus what kind of came out of that. But what we did see is cities and schools started to take note that
good point,
that completely ignored
for sure
it. So the new kids coming in that are going to have the option to have after school programs, PE credits, because the Olympics is a thing.
That's right. It
it does.
Next step.
That gets the parents and the schools a chance to say, okay, you can do this the same as you do football or soccer or bike. And what that's going to do is, we're not going to see that now, but here in 10, 12 years, we're really going to see that.
It's little kids that are in the Olympics too. It's
tiny.
It's not all giant kids. It's I think
awesome.
All those girls were all like, I think you had to be able to do like a full cab front board to like.
Yeah.
Oh,
even
right.
qualify.
I don't even think really when that was all
Ridiculous.
put forth to everybody in the industry, from the retail to the manufacturer, branding out everything. I think that they really thought that's where it was going to go, and it was going to be a lot more than it was, and it didn't happen. And so, but I think they really, if they focus, I would hope they would focus on bringing new skaters in.
See, that's what I hope. I
with
hope
that
that it would
hype, because it's
grow
given
how
it
many people they
legitimacy
bring.
that the people that we need to support it to make it happen are now taking a look. So that's where I believe,
Yeah.
school teachers, principals,
It's-
city directors,
you're
things
doing-
like that.
You have such, I hate to say it, but you have such mental health issues with children these days, and skateboarding's a big, awesome thing to help with that.
Oh, totally. We got
For sure.
Any
tons
kind
that
of
don't wanna go
activity
home
like
at
that where it's repetitive, try, fail. Oh, I did something. Oh, fail. Oh, I did it.
Sure.
Does wonders for young kids who are struggling to just grow up, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, and also too, like we all know this too, like the whole like diversity thing that like you find you probably met your most diverse friends in skateboarding or skate culture,
Yeah, for sure.
And I say skate culture because I actually really need to include roller in this conversation.
It is almost a crossover now that is you can't separate.
Oh, for sure.
We are now
Yeah.
building skates with straight up skateboard parts for the parks. I mean, we've got,
That's right.
and the skill level
For them to ride the parks?
they're backflipping.
Oh, dude,
into the
they're
bowls.
doing
It's
like
insane.
So they have to have
yeah,
We're setting them up with grind
sturdy
blocks,
stuff.
dude, and they're like doing like
machining
legit
wheels, and
grinds.
We're doing all that
Yep.
so
Cool.
they can skate on those in the parks.
I know
It's pretty
I've
amazing.
skated with skaters many a times. The
Oh,
Junction
yeah.
used to have a couple girls come down there
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, and there's a huge community. We've got a couple of communities of 50. I think one's close to 75, and in the indoor stuff too. So
Oh, yeah,
it
that's
all
it.
crosses over. I mean, we're using the same bearings, essentially the same wheels. A lot of the formulas are identical, just a different shape. So we're seeing that too. Even like we started an adult night, and it's
Oh yeah, I
it's
noticed
got
that. Yeah,
75 to 100 people strong now. Roller City on Wednesday
That's
nights.
sick.
We got them. People are coming from 2 hours away just to
Oh,
come
wow.
to that because it's welcoming and diverse, and we're including a lot of them are also skateboarders and vice versa.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
really common.
we're noticing the same thing in like the mountain biking circles where like it's it's just one of those things where like you used to skate. Oh, I used to skate. And it's like you kind of have that like I used to skate time, and then it makes them think like, oh, maybe I should skate. You know?
Yep, we see that daily.
I love
Mostly
telling
with the
people
kids
that
and
you're never
parents.
too old.
Mm-hmm.
You're never too old to learn something new. Come on, man.
Right.
You want to skate? Skate. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
easy.
The
You'll get it.
nostalgia resurgence of the parents wanting to skate with the kids is what we're
can see
seeing
that.
more than anything now. And that's amazing. We've got a kid that'll come in at 7, 8, 9, 10. They start skating, and within that year, we see the parent come in and like, man, he's doing awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I want to skate with him. And we're
That's
seeing
great.
these parents go out and skate with their kids, which is kind of new to me. That's not something we've really seen a lot in this side of the industry, in the retail side anyway.
You know, I would guess that's probably you're selling one of two decks. You're either selling an old school deck, like an old school shaped deck,
Reissues, yeah.
reissue,
Right.
or you're gonna sell them a 775 because they skated in the 90s with
Gotta get
Sure.
that.
the
Gotta get that double flip.
yeah, you gotta get their bearing huggers.
We do a lot
Yeah.
of a lot of flat, small boards with
Yeah.
roller wheels, so they can
There you go.
freestyle stuff. It's got a flat
I
wheel.
love it.
Yeah, it's real common
I
crossover.
love it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, because I remember back, when we were, I think back at the old skate station days when we were stocking in, I guess this was in like 99, 2000 around here. We sold a lot of sizes in between 725 to 7.8,
Yeah.
7.625. 775, but 7.8, and it's like those sizes are not that popularly used anymore. I don't know. I'm curious.
We do sell them. We sell them to street skaters that are going big
Yep.
and old schoolers.
Yeah,
They
right.
really buy the big decks. But
Yeah, right.
surprisingly, right now, a lot of large sizes are moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's
and-
liking them bigger and
Yeah.
wider. Even the little kids are like,
Yep.
no, they won't go lower than an 8.5.
Yeah,
Well,
we barely even have 7.75s now
I believe
because
that.
they don't move. Kids are coming in and they're doing research and they're like, hey, I'm going to ride pool. I need a 9-inch deck. And but also the rules of foot size and height really don't apply anymore.
They don't. No.
You can set something.
I know I've
up.
always been that
There's
particular,
so
but
many
it's like
parts. We can do whatever we want,
Yeah.
and there's not a right or wrong answer.
some kid
So
with
anyone
7s riding 9.
ride
That's right.
whatever feels right for you.
Yeah. If you
For sure.
if
Yeah.
you like it, ride it. I
Yep.
see people like super loose trucks, and I'm just like,
Yep.
I can't. You know what I mean? Like the straight wobbles, but then it makes it so awesome when they
yeah.
do stuff. You're
King.
like, look
You
at
can
the
lock
freaking
lock
bubble.
into a rail all day with floppy trucks.
Yeah.
Get the-
Oh yeah,
get your
for sure.
pinch.
Yep. Yeah, no, and the whole thing about sizing, I think it's interesting because I definitely lean into the thought that bigger sizes are more prominent these days. When we got with Juvenile and did the Gnarkansas collab, deck behind Brad over there behind his head.
Popular deck. Those things
Yeah,
move.
they were available at Groove. Anymore? You don't have any more?
I think we may have one of those left, but we've got a couple other designs. That stuff sells.
Well, okay.
Good quality.
Here's
local decks.
my point. We do have 875s left, and that was it.
Yeah.
But we didn't sell that many 875s, and it was like we made me and Michael talked about it. We made sure to include 875s, and we were even thinking about getting some 9s, but that was what we were left with after all of the inventory is the 875s, and it was like, oh.
I don't move
Man.
875 as a
Okay.
number very often.
Okay.
Right underneath it and right above it.
8.6 and
But
8.8.
the 875 kind of sits. It just kind of
interesting.
sits, and then also the truck, making sure
Right,
that
you get it
have
there
a
where the
truck
truck is.
in
Yeah.
that range, and as you get bigger,
I
your
see a lot of
choices
people
start
go,
going down.
well, I've already got these trucks, so I'm
Yeah.
kind of stuck with a 7.8 or whatever.
And
you know,
we
whatever
we
it
see
is.
that across the counter constantly,
Yeah.
where the decision not to change is based on the parts they
truck.
have and simply just budget.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like, well, I have to invest in new trucks if I'm going to get a bigger board.
You can go up and down a little bit in size, but when you really jump, you
have to.
gotta match
Mhm.
it up, or you're not.
It's
not gonna
kinda
do what you
weird.
did.
No, yeah, I mean, it's you notice it when you have like a small board and really big trucks.
Yeah,
Like
right.
that's
You just roll the edge constantly.
Yeah,
or you're
yeah.
looking down and you can see the.
that's what I'm saying. When you see when you see wheel,
it's like
you're in trouble.
red
Yeah.
flag.
You're in
And I
trouble
hated
there.
it. I hate it though if you went big and your trucks are like, I mean, drastically skinnier. It looks weird, and I think it's going to cause you.
Oh, landings are nuts.
It's gonna be weird. Yeah, like you're gonna be. It's not like loose trucks.
Right.
And cushions help. I'm gonna throw something in here. Cushions, everybody. Cushions is how you tune your skateboard. If you want a better action, less wheel bite, cranking it down is gonna also stop it from turning. Get a cushion. Upgrade to a cushion. There's a ton of them out there.
I agree.
That is.
Oh, are
where
we
you
talking
tune-
about?
Bones
Are we talking
Hardcores,
about?
Right? Bones Hardcore.
Wait, are
Bones
you,
hardcores are amazing, but yeah,
oh,
your
okay.
bushings.
Yeah, bushings. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where you tune
You're right.
it.
If
you're still
whatever you're
cranking,
particular about.
Yeah,
You're still
you were saying
cranking your
cushions. I
down
was
thing down
thinking
there.
about Duke's used to have the
cushion riser. I
The
love
cushion
those.
riser.
I
You know what I'm
still
talking about?
I still that is my ultimate. I was asking some the other day, riser or no risers? You know,
Risers or no risers.
I'm into risers,
Yeah.
but I prefer just a little bit of that foam and a
Yeah.
little bit of that hard plastic. But it's I
Yeah.
don't have to have a big
Yeah.
one, but I need a little bit. And
Are
some
they-
people are like, nope,
Are they still in business? Duke's?
I'm not shorties, right?
Was it short? It was.
Shorties.
It was. It was.
Yeah,
it was the
so
part of the
you
shorties
can
thing.
still get some.
Yeah, I think
shorty
so.
stuff.
I think so.
No, we move a lot.
But
Shorties is good quality.
I'm with you.
stuff.
If you
Yeah.
want
They
to,
still got the best
you can
wax that I
really
can sell.
fine tune
Think-
your
oh,
truck.
I
right.
really
with
like their
cushions.
wax.
Yeah, with good cushion bushings, man.
Yep.
Whatever your style is, I do prefer to swap them out.
Yeah, that's the way to go. It will spring it where you want it. It'll compress where you want it. It'll also right your trucks in the air
That's
back
what
to
I feel like.
zero, so you
Yeah,
have
I feel like
some
when I
distance
carve
to
and I-
land in that.
It just pops back straight for me. Bam! It's a lot.
And we'll
snappier.
tune. People will come in and they're having a problem and they're hitting a ceiling. They're like, I can do this trick all day, but I'm having trouble getting out of it. And we'll loosen them up, try a different cushion in it, and send them back out. And they'll be like, wow, we never even knew about this. And they're landing something they're having trouble
Well,
with because they're cranked down all
Yeah,
the way.
with those with bushings is one of those things where the I think it's the truck companies made it kind of seem like you had to keep the ones that were in it in
Yeah.
it. You know,
Anything will work. You can switch it up all you
Man,
want.
I'd get a new kingpin, but I just reuse the bushings.
the bushings, right? And they're all coned out and blown out in the center, and you still put them back in.
Yep.
And another thing is, you know, even though the hardcores came out like what?
It's
15 years ago,
easily
something like that.
But at that time, everybody was cranking their trucks down. And locking them in.
That's right.
Yeah.
And even most shops didn't even know what a cushion was for other than a replacement.
Yeah, I mean, and also, that's a fair point. It was
We educate
bushing
every
replacements
customer that comes in.
Yeah.
And most of the old school skaters, they have no idea
that you
can do
could
that.
or should change them out.
I do believe the Mega Ramp advanced a lot of the bushing combinations.
Because it was really
because
important.
They're having to get a bigger board, bigger wheels, wider trucks. Everything's huge.
Soft bottom cushion and a springy top.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I can, But you're right. I felt like when Bones Hardcores first came out, everybody was like, because they were just cranking them down. But if you made the investment, I remember it's like the first time I ever bought Swiss bearings, Bone Swiss. I'm like, sold.
It's night and day.
Sold, man. I'm sold.
No, I can attest to that too.
I don't really get any other bearings. I really don't.
Well, and also most bearings on the market are white label. Even the top brands, you're buying a subpar bearing. Bones does a great job. Brunson does a great job. That's NHS Santa Cruz stuff. But those two companies, for the price for what you're getting, it's pretty legit. If you're going to think you're going to buy a ceramic set of bearings out there for $25, you are not getting that. You really, those two companies, what we see, we sell everything through the shop, and we really see those thrive. So it just is to jump in on that product. They are what they say they are, saving money.
You get what you're paying for,
and they're going to last. Yep. They can handle slams all day.
Right, and some of them can last for years, way longer than half your wheels, trucks, and boards.
And in that lies the proof that bearings are one of those products that you really truly get what you pay for. Like
absolutely,
the value match. It's like it is.
Get something cheap,
for sure.
You're gonna blow them out eventually.
And you can clean them. So there's
that's too. If you
can clean those bearings, and you should do it often, especially if you're outside. You're dealing with any condition and dirt and dust and grime, and it's important. And you can save yourself hundreds of dollars over
for sure
bearings,
and still
just
have
because
you
clean them.
Your 2-year-old Bones blue balls is going to be faster than some kid that's had
blue balls
something for
my thing.
It's like the super
big balls,
six ball,
the big 6 ball,
6 ball.
Blue balls.
It's 6
No, they're
ball.
blue.
No,
they are.
Is it?
Yeah, they have a blue shield.
They do have a blue shield.
Okay,
but
all right.
They're called the
big
big
balls.
They're called the big balls.
Big balls.
Those
are my fave.
They are built the same as a Swiss 6, but they're a Reds quality.
Right.
So they're a little cheaper, but
you're looking at like $5 over the price of Reds, and you get a lot of longevity out of that.
I'm telling you, like you said, if you clean them, get you one of those bottles. Dang, they'll last.
Yeah, it does the trick.
They'll last you longer than any of your other skate stuff.
I think that you mentioned cleaning. I think about myself and how bad I am to my own skateboard.
I don't clean.
Yeah, I've always been mad when I went and skated and
you think
I
about
could
it.
feel I think about it, but
you think about doing it.
I can feel how slow my bearings are, and I'm like, these are ceramics. I need to clean. If I clean them, they're just good.
Yeah,
you just got to clean them.
It's the same as taking your snowboard out of the closet and going up to Colorado, and you ain't been in 5 years, and
you
you're
didn't
driving
even
on a
touch
slope,
it.
and it goes.
Yep.
And you're like, what?
It's time to polish.
Got to maintain.
That's right.
Like your car, you got to do something. Got to maintain some maintenance on it.
Yep. So the new location for the shop, I think that's something that we should probably talk about.
Absolutely.
is in Springdale, and it's across the street from Harps.
Yeah,
right
on Gutenson on the side street. So right there across from the.
So just down from the other one.
It's where
So what we did is
I came to the one from across the church.
Right. So what we did is we left Emma. Our leases were up. Paul Esther, Emma Street Partners gave us a great chance and an awesome buildings down there for 5 years. But everything's growing, property values going up, and so that was going to rise. They had decided to sell the buildings, which they did. I think they're putting in some really awesome stuff down there. But those guys were good to us. But it was time for us to make a move. So we went to location there by Pizza Hut on 412. And we also had 3 shops worth of stuff and lots of storage and stuff we had amassed. So we used that space to sort that, deal with it. And then this one opened up and we went ahead and moved over, which is the size where we need to be.
Oh, cool.
But it was a really good transition for us to literally deal with
the inventory.
3,000 square foot of skate stuff.
Yeah.
Including we buy out rinks for wheels. We do a lot of things like that. So you're sorting 3,000 pairs of skates and all this other product and displays from stores. We were literally just getting that dealt with before we ended up where we. And it really came down between here on 412, which we're really happy with this spot, or the mall, and we just we chose a standalone location instead.
I like that location, and so actually,
you could have went to the mall.
We still may. Yeah.
Interesting. I know they were hurting for people to lease.
It's pretty full. So,
it got full all of a sudden.
Previous owners, did some things. The new owners came in and took it off, and they kind of relaxed on it. Other businesses have the opportunity. Yeah. Rent got reasonable, so there was a lot of things, and it's actually filled up pretty nicely. The mall is hopping
almost
right
died.
Now. It did.
The mall almost died.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, the previous owner, man.
That was big name department stores. Mm-hmm. Everything went online, so that really didn't fit the bill anymore. But it's pretty packed now. There's a lot of great stores in there and a good businesses, and some local smaller mom and pop businesses that have had a chance to grow now out of the mall.
But I still could see if you had a small spot in there. I mean, sheesh.
It can be beneficial,
it's
but
like
the mall's a different animal.
Totally different.
You're selling hype gear to a different crowd. So we really pride ourselves on service. So we decided we were going to stay with the community and the service side, and not just go full retail with the hype and like special releases, which we were directed. We could get that, and we do sell it. But that's really just not the kind of store we wanted. And as a family business, it is a lot to take on.
Well, you would have been busy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things you're not going to be able to do.
But realistically, profit-wise, it may not have been the smartest move. So
that's one of those really bad.
And you have to stay viable, and you have to keep the rent paid and all that, or you can't support the community at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, the demographic that you're dealing with in the mall, like you said, it's not I don't know many skaters that were just gonna like go to the mall.
Yeah, you're getting the guy walking by.
It's not that time anymore. In the 90s,
birthday cash.
Sure. If that was in the 90s, that might be the only place you go, but not now, man. I don't.
Who was there in the 90s? Gadzooks.
Yeah. Well, actually, so shops.
Bushwhackers.
Bushwhackers. PacSun, and not PacSun's not a skate shop, but it's like they sold some skate things, for real. And so like there was a time when
Zoomies.
No, we haven't had a Zoomies here. We don't have one though.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
and then they downsized.
Well, I don't think unless Northwest Arkansas hits another population marker, we're not going to see a Zoomies here for.
It'll still have to be a culture thing too, because just because we have a population, if there's no sales in the industry,
they're not going to come.
I always wonder too how Walmart affects who comes and goes with some of these other corporate brands.
I don't know,
but sometimes you just never know. Not that
we're not competing with the Walmart board, though.
No, but I mean, no doubt. That's what's good.
I got to shout out Mark Landry. He said Bushwhackers sold him his first skateboard.
Dope.
That's dope.
So he's a mall rat.
No, it's cool. Like honestly, like what was the dude? The dude that ran it?
It's a foot. When you walk in the door, it's on the ground.
What?
Think of it. A doormat. I got a doormat, and it's from Bushwhackers. And it's DC Shoes, and I think it's like Josh Kalis in Philly, like backside tail slide.
Right.
That's cool.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, that guy treated me right.
No, I think mall shops have their place. I'm sure,
but
do.
It's like, and we're not saying we won't do it at some time, but it's just not. It's not the right time. Right
now's
not the time to expand a skate shop at all.
Now's not the time to expand anything.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah. With the mall, I've always dreamed of this. Anybody listening, if you want to just steal this idea, just do it, because I would love for it to exist. Is if we can get a skate park in the mall.
That'd be nice.
That'd be sick.
Well, they were going to put, instead of the workout place, they were going to put like an indoor cart
Cart.
thing.
Well, no,
And
that
that's
was
in
going to be
Rogers
it was going to be K1 speed.
But now it's in Rogers, right?
It's in Rogers.
Yeah.
But it's a horrible location. Sorry, K1 speed. I'd love
But
for you
that-
guys to be a show
workout
sponsor
place
one
is-
day, but
Yeah.
you got to get a better location behind the Dixieland Mall.
Dixieland.
It's not in the it's not it's like the Dixieland Mall and then behind it.
No, I know what you're
Old
saying,
mall.
but like
Yeah,
the
I see
old
it.
mall.
so
Yeah.
Dixieland.
Speaking of malls.
Yeah, Dixieland had like Halloween Express in there, and me and the
Yes.
kiddo went over there, and we were like, "Yeah, it was 7:00. We're like, we're gonna go to Halloween Express and check it out." She's still young. We get there, and it's like, "Oh, mall closes
Oh,
at 7."
Butch. Hey, Butch.
Yeah, Butch.
Butch. I was trying to think of his name. Yeah.
But the mall closed at 7.
Yeah.
Like what? So you can't get into Halloween Express past 7:00 because it's Dixieland
it's
Mall.
in Dixieland Mall.
They don't have any
Okay.
business, so they close the whole thing down early.
I'm amazed it's there. I remember
It's been there a long time.
As a teenager,
sure.
it was dead.
It
closed everything in it.
Dude, it was never very hopping.
I mean, I'm
Definitely
46 now, so it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's never really been
That's crazy.
hopping.
No, yeah. They it's like I'm sure K1 was probably like balancing it out, like what's the cheapest
The
place for
cost,
us
I'm
to
sure.
go?
I mean, the cost of the building, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I understand probably why they chose it, but it's like in some situations, like I want to go to K1, like I really want to check it out, but it's so strange, like I love being a general consumer. It's the neatest thing in the world, and thinking about it. So like I'm like, I want to go to this place, and then I'm like, where is it? Nah. Like and
Yeah.
thinking as a consumer, and then like reeling back macro, and then being like, oh wow, location matters.
Oh yeah, it matters like you wouldn't believe. We knew our temporary spot on 412 was going to be cumbersome.
Yeah.
We in that, and just not necessarily us, but anybody dealing with that, we literally dropped down to the sales just were gone.
Yeah.
And part of that was flooded parking lot, bad location, hard to get into, things like that. And just the demographic. You just look at Google Maps, and it goes from 50,000 to 20,000 traffic just in 4 blocks. So
No doubt.
those things matter.
That's 412, man. 412 is like that.
And it matters. So
Oh yeah, like the all of the zones of 412 kind of having their kind of individual like identity of traffic and marketplace and stuff like that.
And being close enough to the interstate to pick up the out-of-state traffic really does make a difference.
Okay.
It makes a difference for us.
Okay.
They come in to eat. They're like,
They
for
come
real.
in to eat. We get them literally. They show up. They're traveling through. They stop in for roller to get fitted. We'll size their skates. We'll set them up. We'll get everything organized, and then we'll ship those out to them. And we get that every week.
Interesting.
Quite a bit. There's not many people that do that service left, so we've had to kind of put ourselves in a place where we could pick up that business.
Man, I like the repair. Like I brought trucks in. You fixed them up for me so I could pass them on. And I do like that old school. It reminds me like modern bowling alleys aren't as cool as
They don't drill balls anymore.
Right, they're not
Yeah.
doing all their own stuff, and that's kind of how that is to me. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's rad.
Yeah.
That was a philosophy going into that from day one. There's no service anymore.
Man, that's true.
And some people have never really had that. Like I said, I could just take my truck to you, man, and it's fixed, and it's sweet like that. And
it makes a difference. It makes a difference for support too, especially on the younger side. We got a lot of teens coming in that are kind of doing it on their own without their parents, and they come in and they get someone that'll say, "Hey, we'll show you how to build that. Hey, we'll put it together. It's free here. Don't worry about it. Give me a box of parts. We'll get you rolling." And that's a big deal because what happens is they get broken. They're wearing out their gear. They're out there doing it, and they're falling in love with it, and then it's broken, and they can't do anything.
Right,
they can't
continue.
go anywhere. They can't get any parts. Nobody will talk to them. And that's where the difference is we're allowing them to do something they love. By really doing something we should be doing anyway. We're just helping them out.
it's easy.
It falls into that each one teach one. There's nothing wrong with it, and it doesn't really cost us anything to do that. But it makes a big difference for that kid walking in the door.
No, education about this stuff. A lot of times, some of the connection is the fact that they just, where did I hear that information? Where did I learn it? Where did it come from? Who's the people that helped me
For sure.
get that?
I also think that's
you
part
stay
of,
loyal to that.
That's part of your, like, not just learning tricks, but putting it together and becoming that, just that helps. All that does, it's great for mental.
Yeah.
The building of your board, the grip tape and all that, and then skating it and, like I said, failing and succeeding, all that is so crazy good for you.
Yeah. And so you said that you're probably going to get back into school programs with the group eventually.
Now that I'm back in the shop after healing up from the back, that was pretty gnarly.
How long has that been since
a year back in September?
Okay.
I fell through the ceiling.
That's
of
so
a
crazy,
I know,
dude.
it's crazy. I fell, broke my back in the
You said
attic.
a year back, no pun intended.
A year back, a year back, and a year back.
So I fell in the ceiling, broke my back. Then I fell through the ceiling to the floor.
Oh, so you broke your back before you fell?
I broke it when I woke up, came to. I fell through the ceiling as I was passing out, and laying on the ground. I was like, "Oh, this is it."
Insulation and stuff, or just like drop ceiling?
Drop ceiling. It was, right through.
Nothing catching you on the drop ceiling.
Yeah, it was rough. And it was pretty high. So I broke my spine, messed up my neck and my shoulder and some stuff. And there was a lot of recovery and physical therapy stuff. And mentally, just wanting to actually come back was a little bit difficult chore. Sure. So we did that. My son Shade and my wife Audrey did awesome in the shop. Their service is impeccable. Shade has now moved on, so I literally have to be back in the shop. So appreciate everything he did. It was really awesome.
That's cool.
But now me and my wife are running the shop. And we're back to it. So right now we are in talks about reinstituting all that stuff. You simply have to have the manpower. Somebody's got to manage it.
Somebody's got to do it.
So I took that break off. We are now jumping back into that. So that'll be coming back up. We'll start announcing that, doing events again very soon. So we will be back in the season this year. We missed a lot of last year outside of supporting the Crown, which we do that.
Oh, right. Yeah. And we were gonna originally we were talking about making that a joint episode, but we actually literally said there's too much to talk about between both that it's like we didn't want to forget about something, overshadow or make it seem like it's overshadowed or something. So we're giving they'll have an episode in season 4, which I'm stoked to talk more about that because that was kind of and stoked that you guys are supporting them too because having something that not everybody is down with contest style skateboarding.
Of course.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But for those that are, there needs to be something in place that feels important, that has some memory attached to it, something that they can some sort of tangible thing to go for. And I think that it's really great that, Roy stepped out there, decided to create something like this, which had never been done before.
He did a great job, and he's kept it going for a while. We're happy to support him. He does a damn good job.
And I mean, and I mean, I really want to point this out that what he created had not been done before in Arkansas. And I mean, others have tried similar things like it, but it's, I think that what's great is that he created an identity for that thing.
Yeah. And it wasn't without some work. I mean, he got some serious pushback from a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competition's fierce in this industry. But he saw it through. And what was the reason we stood behind him with brand and with the shop was mostly because everyone was welcome and it was free to the public.
So it's something that your branding can align with.
Right. So we complement each other, even though he's doing a totally different direction.
100%.
But what he does really helps us out as well, because it gives us a chance to have somewhere to go, hey, you like this? We got a kid that wants competition, a skater that's doing the area. Go, hey, go check this out. This is free. It's free to everybody. You're going to walk away with some awesome stuff. The other thing I'd like to note about the Crown and the events we support, generally our own people don't compete. We want that to be for the public. We want them to come in and win and take stuff home with them.
Sure.
So that's a big deal.
It's a big memory for a little kid that's trying to come up. Like I went to the park, even if he catches a sticker and then wins a shirt.
Oh yeah,
something simple. It's huge for them, man.
He'll have that sticker. He'll be talking to it with his kids.
Yeah.
When he's got kids, they'll be like, man, I got this sticker when I was skateboarding, and they do.
I have plenty of memorabilia that just is like stuck around here.
It's awesome.
I got some of the old stickers at the house.
Yeah. Or whatever whatever it is, like because I think that's one of the cool things about, couple points. I like different events. I like that there are different styles of events. I like that there's like, the contest, we got the jams. There's like jams that are more like public. There's jams that are more like private. There are things that maybe have like concerts attached. There's other things that may have like a church organization attached. I think all of these places, or all of these, we're going back to talking about the demographics, of these different sub-demographics, sub-niche area groups. They all have a place.
Totally, absolutely.
They all have a place, and I love that they exist.
Because, it's like the true diversity of freaking skateboarding and skate community. I mean, it's like you said, you got all different niche groups. They can still skate together at a big park, but then they might have a private one, like you said, or a public something, and only some go here and only some go there.
Now they can skate together.
Yeah, but
they can. No, they can.
That's what I'm saying.
That's tough these days. But
we don't always do
together,
it, but
right.
we can do it.
They might skate here, but then they're also going to skate. They're all going to skate somewhere together.
Yeah, you're right. And actually, to add to your point, Forrest, I want to actually really nail. I want to drive this one home. Is that I think we all realize that these skate groups don't hang out with each other. You know what I mean? They're just and they probably won't. I don't imagine that there's going to be a lot of cross pollination.
I don't know. I think maybe there could be some gnarly local people that are kind of neutral that might literally be able to pull some people together, because I think a comp where we bring these crews together to compete against each other could be a great way to stimulate this thing without us all fighting with each other and all that stuff. We've got some options.
I hear you, and I think I want to go back to one previous statement about some people liking like jam style events, some people liking contest style events, some people liking just going to concerts and there being a jump ramp. Yeah. There's all these different types of skaters that and really they if you're not a contest style skater, you're not going to go to a contest.
Probably not.
That's the thing that I think I've been looking at, and I would like, if we are going to have something where everybody's going to come together, then we need to make sure that we're giving a little bit for everybody.
It'll take a community effort, but multiple communities.
You're talking about doing what Red Bull's doing with okay, we're going to invite this shop and this shop, because it's crews and dudes that don't hang, and they're going to make them come together and skate.
It's not going to be. It wouldn't be easy.
And someone can take the title home, but
okay.
That's the way that works.
Well, and I guess what I want to say is that there is going to be these separations in these different communities, but I urge people to not separate too far.
Yeah.
Do not separate so far and become so disjointed of a community that everybody is so small. We've not empowered anybody to get up to a status that actually helps us and pushes this whole thing forward. If everybody stays small, we will stay small. If we start separating, it's just smaller and smaller increments, and we're not propping anybody up, and it's not helping anybody win. Nobody will win.
That's what I was going to say. Sense. No one's winning.
No one's winning.
Well, and not that it's a
That's right. And there's no competition.
It's not a competition. However, in business competition, I get that angle of looking at it.
It happens. It's there whether you like it or not.
No, and it is beneficial. However, you can only there's a pie. there's a pie of Northwest Arkansas skateboarding and shred culture, and it's only so big.
Yep.
And you can slice it, but you can't. The pie is still the same circle,
and it only gets bigger real slow. It gets bigger, but it's just really slow.
Yeah, but it doesn't get bigger from the center and push outward. It adds a little here and adds a little here and adds a little here and all the way around, and so it takes forever for that outer ring to expand. And I mean, as a shop owner, I know you know that.
Oh yeah, it's one of the hardest things we deal with in the industry is the separation of the groups, the pushback, the tactics with rivals, things like that.
Yep.
And ultimately, if we work together, we all succeed. We make more money. We do better. We bring more kids and families in.
We get parks.
We get parks. And like I said, going into meetings, and we've got a group saying, hey, here's my proposal. I wore a tie today and brushed my hair.
Sure.
Versus the guys that go in and go, F you, man.
I mean,
that's something that's part of that. Well, we got to come together and go, hey, let's all really work hard for this and do something positive. And that's difficult.
So
it's difficult to
I know.
bond
Well, I know.
that.
I know. Bentonville.
Yes.
The Bentonville Park thing was. I know it was private money, and so it was easily funded. But I felt like a lot of people were there.
Yeah.
People
really
there was a
came
few
out.
People I didn't see, but I felt like, you know what I'm saying? There was a bunch of us there.
I do want to interject. It wasn't all private funding though. There's components of that. I just don't want to misspeak on the show.
I know that, but that's kind of what the dude from CA Skate Park said. He was like, "Bro, it's going to happen." No,
it's secure. It's secured.
Right.
That's the thing is the budget and in the portion that's inside of the proposal for budgeting is allocated already. So it's it's guaranteed.
Like, bro, it's paid for. So
it's paid for, but I don't think that it's like I'm sure there's a level of it that's a lot of private funding that was inflated, but like I don't want the. I'm sure Bentonville and Benton County are like, yo, we paid for that.
Yeah, they're going to be like, what about this? We did.
I'm sure they
with
did. So much appreciation from Washington County.
But
we appreciate you.
But but then that makes me feel better that there was, like I said, there were mountain bikers there. There were BMXers there. There were roller skaters. There were skateboarders.
Oh, that was dope. It was so really cool. It was so cool.
So, I mean, you had people come up from Fayetteville, people... Yeah.
No, that's a great. That's great.
What I'm saying. It was like
great analogy. And like let's say that because you were there too, right? Shade was there.
Yeah, I sent Shade and Roy
Shade
was
there.
in.
And Shade and Roy. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And they pulled in quite a few other people from the outskirts because we needed that.
But you had your representation there. We had our representation, and then literally all crews. I saw so many different crews that had their representation there, and I was like. Yo, this is what it is.
It was going down.
Yep.
I mean, it went down that day.
And that went well.
Yep.
Now, we've also had some meetings like that, very similar. Hey, we've got money sitting here, and no support showed up, so we didn't get a skate park there.
Very true. That's a great point.
So we have a few that's just,
in comparison.
We've got $150,000 to add a couple places on the trail. Nobody showed, or the people that did was a negative, and it got cut.
And if we're looking at this in comparison.
We need that.
Bentonville got the skate park.
That's funny you said that because when we were at Bentonville, there were a few people I felt decided to speak up, and they were negative. And I was like, what the? And a lot of us were like, why are we going there? Like,
there was a lot of criticism, like we're criticizing what was coming in, and
I do remember that.
There was just a couple comments that I thought, well, that's the weirdest, kind of a negative question. Be asked, like they're asking us what we want.
Yeah, and they also
stop complaining about what we might get.
Telling us we are using a professional builder. We are funding this. This is going to be done proper. And because I watched an overview video of the meeting, and the questions that were coming up were being answered like, hey, we are professionals. We are hiring a professional. That question is not even appropriate.
Is there going to be parking?
Dude, Scott. Mark's in the comments. He's like, there was no one skates bowls.
Yeah, that's what the dude said.
No one skates bowls.
We're all looking at each other like I've seen that guy.
What are you talking about?
We don't have any bowls to skate, really.
Yeah,
and not really.
At the
not that are accessible to everybody.
Dude, seriously, we don't have like a real one. Like,
yeah,
we don't have a California skate park bowl.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, geez, like. You're mad?
No,
I mean, you might be able to learn it.
I don't know. I'm not certain on this.
But that dude did ask if there was going to be parking.
No.
Or somebody else asked, instead of concrete, could we put wood in so that they could replace it as it gets worn? Oh, that one's good.
It's good. No, so like I'm not certain on this, but somebody there was Bentonville, Arkansas made a post, and it was about the Gateway Park, and is where the wheel sports thing was.
Same dude.
It was the same dude that said something in the comments about the bowl, and it's like,
wow,
bro, like, get over it. There's one bowl. Like, it's like, or there's two.
Well, if you count Van Buren, but in Northwest Arkansas,
there's
Eureka.
not. We don't have any bowls.
There's Eureka,
yeah.
and there's going to be Bentonville.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like,
And you're saying
And there's a private one.
fully enclosed because they've all got a roll.
yeah,
they've all got a walk-in.
A
gap.
walk-in.
But I still
an
consider
enclosed.
Eureka a bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah, I consider Eureka a bowl.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
you can flow. It's
It's bowled in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, man, we just don't have that, and it's not even like it's taking up this large section of that park.
Yeah.
It's tiny in the back.
Oh, it's so small. It's so small. And I think he literally said something like in the comments like why waste the concrete? Why waste all that concrete? It's like,
oh my God.
what do you want for more flat? Is that what you wanted us to put more flat concrete?
I do want to ask you.
Yeah.
So let's say they were like, okay, you're building this skate park, and this section right here is going to go just for roller skaters. What would you put in?
Wouldn't change anything. We other
let it flow.
than a little bit of stuff for like rails and things
That's what
like
I'm
that.
saying. Like, okay,
Today's roller skater that's hitting the park and the setups they're using, they can do anything that a skateboarder inliners can do. It's a different methodology, but they can absolutely grind the same rail, hit the same coping. There's really no reason. Now, smoother and slicker copings and rails are going to be great. So metal tube, things like that.
Smoother and slicker. That's fine with us.
Yeah, right. I mean, everybody's on board with that.
Yep.
So, so pool coping will grab a little bit differently with our slide blocks and stuff, but it's all manageable. It's all going to get waxed anyway. So we can really skate anything that a skateboarder can skate, and there's not much difference.
sweet.
That's cool.
We
I just always
might
thought
say
that.
we kind of want some smaller, shorter rails for
That makes sense,
as
though.
people are learning. There's a lot of people coming in that do it, and they're all about
Just gotta
rails
step
and
it on
jumps and
something short
stepping
for
things
now.
right. So that is some add-ons, but if they're building a new park and a modern park, they should be adding some mild things anyway for our kids and our new skaters that are coming in and learning. Because if they walk in and this park is epic, that's pretty intimidating for a person who just got a board.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I agree with that.
Or a roller skater, either way. You know.
Right. I'm pretty certain that that there's going to be a fair level of progression at that park.
I think so.
You know,
think that park will
California skate parks is going to.
I think you're
They're
gonna.
gonna be awesome.
I'm not trying to predict the future, but I think you're gonna have some kid, because how bougie Bentonville is. I'm sorry. There's going to be some kid go pro out of Bentonville.
I think
How
yeah,
much
it's gonna
traffic
happen.
they have come through there.
And
People move through all the time.
I think they'll do a lot of. I think that park will be geared to do some televised stuff, bring some
Sure.
stuff.
They've
in.
already.
Yep.
We
they're
don't have
already in-
events. I can't get my
They're
brands to
already in
push an event.
They've already tried to be in contact to schedule events at this place
Yeah.
that's not even built yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
And
Get
that's
a,
gonna
I can't
be-
get a brand to come
That's
here.
going to be stuff passing through.
Well,
They won't do
hey,
it unless we pay
no.
them. But to do it a bigger event where they really get that backup,
yeah.
it's hard to talk them into it.
Don't feel too bad about that because I've man, I have this gripe in skateboarding where I really miss something that was really close to me in my skateboarding youth, which was brand tours, when brands used to come through and tour cities.
Get on the bus and go, dude.
Yeah, and so like a
lot of people complain about that.
I tell the story of Northwest Arkansas not really having much care for, not much care, but like Toy Machine and Tumyeto Foundation wasn't really known that well, but it was known, but it just wasn't big. And then Foundation came through and did a tour, and there was a solid time when like everybody was like down with Foundation, you know. And then I fast forward, and I think later on, we were talking about when LRG came through.
See, they came skated the park, but
Yeah.
Tumyeto dudes, they skated all street.
They skated all street. But then, you know, during that time, the area kind of gets some love for that. Like like people were like, oh yeah, pros came through our city.
There's stuff to skate.
And I'm going to support, I want to get their boards because they came and they came to our spot, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name names, but I've asked some big pro brands and to, you know, hey, could you possibly set up this real small tour? It really wouldn't be that, much of an issue if you kind of routed this city, that city, this you could pull this off, and they were just not interested at all.
Yep, I dealt with that our second year in. We did some of that. We brought Steve Stedham in as old bones.
That's right, dude.
Old bone skater. That was huge. There was a lot of residual off that. People,
that'll pull some dudes out of the cracks, man.
Right, it will. But so there's the other side of that is we were doing that. We brought a couple other crews through. When that happened, what we realized is we straight up have to pay for it. You can't be the only person in the area paying to bring skate events in because you're getting to stimulate the market. You're going to get some residual sales out of it. All that's good, but
it's just not going to happen.
Usually it's a losing money deal, and now they just don't come unless you're willing to cough up the $3,000,
I think
$4,000.
There's a few of them, but like King of the Road seemed like it was like showing that whole culture, and people loved it. So I thought it would help it, but I think COVID just absolutely destroyed that.
Yeah,
that whole ideal. I think there's even like a residual possibility. Some dudes that are good don't want to get in a van with 8 dudes and take off. Anymore.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a different now for sure.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. And I mean, or maybe tours just aren't as much of like the cram 10 dudes into a thing, but maybe 4 guys.
That's why I see it.
Get
just
into something smaller crew.
Somebody to show up.
Somebody who shows up.
Don't you take your AMs and they cut their teeth? That's how
they cut their teeth. Yeah,
man.
That's
you don't want them to be good at one park. You want them to be good at a bunch wherever you take them. That's how that trains.
Skate anything.
Yep. That was when Syndicate had Vox come, and I remember one of the dude that threw down the hardest was Tyler Surrey during this time, and it was like. He wasn't known. It was he. I mean, I don't even know if we knew that he was coming on this particular tour, and he just shredded and skated the whole time. And like some of the other pros didn't really like come out that much, but he threw down. And it was like he was the AM. So like the AMs are hungry. It was the point.
I think that's how that worked. Plus, they're with the big dogs, and the big dogs are like, "Do it, dude, do it! Like, try it. You got it."
I think the new trend is they simply don't have to do the promotion.
They don't have to.
They're selling fine. They're promoting fine
online and everything.
No, and I'll give you one more. Nobody else is doing it, so why do I have to?
Damn the gram. Right. Damn the gram. That's what I say, man.
Yep. It's Instagram's fault. It really is.
It's like a necessary evil.
It doesn't necessarily help us at our level. What we do in retail, it doesn't help.
No,
it actually we have to re-educate people daily that come in. We call the TikTok skaters the TikTok
That's
skaters.
What I'm saying.
They literally are coming in. They're like they know everything about it. They're going to tell us how it works. They don't, but they don't. And so we have to re-educate most of the people that come in that 15 to 30 range. We're having to retrain them.
Yeah,
freaking weird stuff, man.
That's weird. Well, I think that if the internet taught anybody anything, it's that they know everything.
Yeah, they know everything there is to know about nothing.
So like you can't really tell anybody anything anymore because they've already have like a predetermined.
Everybody comes with facts on the internet.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I mean, as a
they learned yesterday from somebody else on
from
TikTok.
A different app.
Yeah, or just to kind of spin it back to the shops is that they'll come in and say like, oh, you don't have this brand, and you're like, how? I didn't hear about that brand until you just now told me about it.
Yeah.
How was I mean, sorry that I wasn't like
They got 1.5 million followers on the gram, bro. You don't know them,
dude.
That's pretty accurate, man.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
That's good job.
Because they do, yeah, and I mean, like, man, that's,
it's like I said, it's a necessary evil. I'm on there.
All right,
don't get mad when I have to post. So.
Right. Well, okay, I'm gonna do a little venting. I'm gonna do my venting on this. I'm gonna get myself canceled. So, Gnarkansas has never paid for followers. Never paid for subscribers, never done any sort of like paid thing. And we get kind of like maybe compared or contrasted either one against other brands that have like way more followers on paper,
mm-hmm.
But you can go in and look in and like the natural following of that company is just gonna, there's nothing gonna be there. You know, like they're gonna have empty post where, you know, there's not any substance to
Filler.
the people that are commenting. Like you'll see a bunch of comments like, yeah, stoked, emojis, you know, and then but then if you actually look and see,
you go past it,
there's no depth to it, right? So the discouraging part came in when I started to look deeper and see that a lot of people are doing this, and it's really not that expensive to buy the number, you know.
Yeah.
And when it comes to playing this Instagram game, you know, there's the ability to just put, you know, hey, will you give Gnarkansas 10,000 followers? Sure, $79.99.
buy it. Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
it's available.
We've
you know?
seen that really deep in the market, especially with our competition, even locally, other crews and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we really try not to.
Yeah.
We try to
Well,
push our reviews. Every review on there is legit. We've actually
there you go. Yeah.
one of the best reviewed in the area, voted best in NWA. This is third year in a row. That's getting ready to be announced. Probably I might get in trouble for that. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it almost,
It makes you.
if you're paying attention, it almost gets a fake feeling to
there's some...
being bought and purchased out of it instead of going out there and doing the work and earning it.
But
It's also now it's kind of necessary because
smells like robots.
you'll literally get buried if you don't put it out there.
But see, that's and then, you know, just to speak on Gnarkansas, you know, we have the same kind of feeling where we're like, well, okay, so if everybody's doing it, are we in trouble if we don't? Because we're somehow left behind in this weird, you know, tail end of followers where there's this bulk pushing forward, you know, and all these people are trying to load themselves on the front end of this, you know, and you know, ultimately, you know, I'll put myself out there that I'll do the same thing, you know. You know, people who know me know that I work in the skateboard industry, and I'll go and research a brand. And I'll be like, oh, they have X amount of followers.
Yeah.
You know? And then I make some just judgment. I just created some judgment in my head.
A good one.
Oh, I bet they're big.
They're big. I'll go with
you
that
know?
one. Yeah.
And it's how much did they pay for 101,000 followers? You know?
Well, and like you said, some of those brands, they have that. There's something fake on the edge there. I don't know if it's a little AI or.
Well, no. Well,
I know what you're saying. I'll see certain. I'm like, why do they have so many followers when there's no substance there? You're not really seeing any real skating, or I don't know. It just seems set up.
Yeah.
Or
Well, think about it like this. It's an exposure thing. So I won't say the company that told me this, but a company that has millions of followers said that all of these things like it when you spend money, and they notice when you spend money towards your brand, so they start to kind of heroin drip you a little bit. You know, oh, we see that this company likes to spend money on their brand. Okay, well, we're gonna give you a little bit. We're gonna give you a little more exposure, and then the brand starts to say oh, wow, I'm getting exposure in the, say, skateboarding industry. Man, people are really noticing us.
I've hit the viral
you know,
lottery.
I gave them $10 last month. You know what? I'm going to up that to 30. You know, I'm going to do 30.
That worked.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah. And this is embedded directly into Meta, their whole business center nonsense.
It reeks of AI.
It is AI.
They teach you how to do it.
Yeah, they tell you what they would like you to do, and you know, when it comes to the paid followers, they're on record saying that they don't care.
Yeah,
they actually like it. They like it when everything looks more inflated because it helps their numbers.
When you're doing good, you don't hate it.
It helps marketing numbers. So if you're Instagram and you say you know, hey, we're looking at, you know, the numbers that were shown for this certain ad, right? So many people watch this ad, and that's inflated by 1 million.
Yeah,
that's money in their pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so they're gonna let layers of that or amounts of that
I always
go.
think about what the homie Drew told us about how he kind of cracked the algorithm code. He just stuck some titties on a fish.
Yeah.
And he was like, what the hell? And so he's like, just kind of
provocative.
Threw it in there every once in a while. Like,
yeah.
It's ridiculous, but man, it's weird.
Well,
like I said, it's the lottery. Sometimes you can hit on some of these things. It's just strange.
I see a different side to that. So
sure,
all that comes down to play, and it sounds good. And where I see the thing that really catches me is in the quality.
Quality of the content and
the quality of the product.
Or the product, overall.
If content's your product, you better be bringing it.
Sure,
if
good point.
You're a new skate brand, you're a street brand, you're a trunk brand, and you're putting that out there, you can have the biggest following in the world.
But is your quality there?
When I get one in my hand, and I know I'm not going to push it, I'm not going to sell it.
Yeah.
So that's where, for me,
it's a lot of hands
it's
off.
all about retail for me.
Right.
Because when it comes down, I'm like, they're full of crap. But I want to see if the product's good. I can overlook it because I want the product to work. I don't care how popular you are. I don't care if it's going to get me likes. I got to put it in a kid's hand, and it's got to do what it says it's going to do. And at the end of the day, that's where I usually catch the ones that are full of shit.
It's crazy because it's like you said, we talk to people and like you're all about, that it's kind of old school.
Yeah.
But
we need a little bit of that.
Yeah, but there's so many people out there that caught this luck online sales.
Yeah.
They weren't doing any and they just had to. And boom, all of a sudden they're your spot for old school decks. And it's like the dudes are like, I don't know. I just started doing it. And it's crazy that some people are on that spectrum now.
Yeah, totally different.
Just like, what? Then they kind of but I still like you said, yours is harder to keep going.
You can't lie to me if once I put it in my hand. You can't fake that.
Well,
it's either good or it's not.
I think
I can still know you're full of crap.
I think you'll have more. I think you'll have a little.
At
bit
least
more,
I'll have a product I can do something with.
I think you'll have more loyalty coming through. Like, no, I've got it there. I mean, it's like I said, it's like going to a shoe cobbler or something like that to me.
Yep, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I really think that there's another side of that it doesn't sell, and I think that you would know that too. Like, something may be quality, but like if it actually is going to sell in the space or not.
Yeah. I know a little bit about wheels.
But yeah, I would say like general like saturation of a market. I think that everybody in this room, we're aware of what saturation looks like and what level in which it can be applied. Do you feel like we're going to see this recede?
We already have.
Okay. You think it's receding already?
Not only that, but coming from the industry leaders on skateboard and roller side, we were kind of prompted by quite a few major players in retail, big brands, big names that said, "Hey, get ready. Don't stock up too full."
Okay.
I mean, and really we saw that more so even this last year than anything else.
Yeah.
I'd say right now is not the greatest time to open a shop. We're still in decline.
Right.
Everybody's still in decline. And some of the warehouses are packed full of stuff. Brands are offering discounts to get rid of it. The warehouses are getting full, so you're going to see new shops that are warehouse buyers pop up because they can. But what's going to happen is that's going to run out, and then we'll be back to some demand.
We'll be back to the demand, but we're not there yet.
We're not. The warehouses are full.
Yeah. There's
now
brands,
collabs
there's
and
people
special
calling
releases.
You that normally don't call. Like, hey, you sure you don't?
You sure you don't want 55 decks? No, I mean, no, we don't.
Yeah, we don't. No,
we don't.
Right.
And so when that happens, you have a hard time selling the smaller stuff. So you dial back to the absolute top name brand. And then if you're direct, you got collabs, limiteds, and things
that you can drop.
People generally can't get. And that's one of the things that helps us. So, yeah, we're in it.
Yeah.
We're in it right now.
Do y'all do the PAL stuff? Do you do the series, like the new series?
Everything. Yeah, we do everything that we can get our
pre-order and all
hands
of it.
on. Problem is usually like we do a pre-order, we get it in, we know it's coming. They're generally gone before we get them.
That's
the
normal.
day they drop, they're gone.
It's a lot like if you have a Nike account that does.
I can
like
still
that.
move that because we have a big reach. We get people, we drop, say, hey, we got Santa Cruz in today. We're getting them from Little Rock, Joplin,
right,
Springfield.
I just find that crazy. That stuff, like we just said, it pulls the dudes out of the cracks, man.
When we're not seeing a huge influx of new skaters, let's say for a few months for whatever's going on in the economy or war or whatever, we are getting a new person in. We're getting a collector. We're getting the guy that has the money to put him on his wall. And so we have a little bit different supply because we can get everything via direct, which kind of helps us a little.
Yeah.
And has kept us pretty safe in the market. Even in a normal year, I'd say this would be a pretty normal year for a skate shop.
That's a good point.
What's been happening, if people are going to gauge their success
That's abnormal.
by what's happened the last few years.
No,
that was abnormal.
Yeah, that was
insanity.
Completely different.
Anyone could have survived through COVID if they had something to sell.
Fair point.
And that's not the case anymore.
No, and
our market's it's declining. Mm-hmm. We're actually seeing some brands that are probably losing. We're going to see some people go out of business for good.
We've already seen some of that.
We've already had announcements for quite a few brands.
Yeah. So actually, yeah, I think that you kind of actually shine some light on like a kind of like an aspect that is not so clear and present, is just the simple fact of the overstock,
the buildup,
being
whatever it was,
just simply being present.
Just brands got really excited. Now the big dogs, they can afford to fill 4 warehouses full and sit on it. It doesn't matter. It's going to sell. But these littler brands, the guys that are like in the industry, they grew really well. They're sitting on 25, 30,000 decks, and they're a sideline brand. They're not going to survive it.
Yeah, it's
they are right now trying to figure out, what are we going to do? We owe everybody money, and then that's what happens is they anticipated that it was going to stay this way. So that's a whole nother problem in the industry, is everybody went all in.
It's hard, like when you have that kind of tip, like a money, hand over fist money coming in, basically, because you're selling, moving money. You just drive forward with it, man. A lot of times you got to get those blinders, and you're like, no, I'm making money. I'm not quitting now. I'm not.
And you should.
But you got to look ahead too.
You got to pay attention to what you're doing. If you've financed out,
I think you're right. I think
4 years of product, it may stop selling tomorrow, and you're in trouble. So
sure.
And that's trickling down to us. We're seeing some of that now.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you're also met with issues of the online marketplace, because you're now shops are having to battle with direct to consumer from brands who were not direct to consumer before.
Yeah, you can buy Volcom at 95% off straight from them right now. It's cheaper than even you can buy a wholesale. Now, the thing is the way you combat that as a shop, stop selling Volcom.
That's exactly what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that? I think who was it?
And I'm not
trying to trash any. I'm not trying to trash any man, but
money.
I think Baker did something like that with the shops at Christmas. It was like
$20 Pro Decks.
Yeah, and some dudes just. I knew a dude that's all he bought. He didn't buy the fresh gear that came out. He bought that stuff and made, instead of filling a shop full of all the fresh gear, he filled a shop with all the most value, like
but it's
margin,
temporary.
profit margins. So he cleared out at Christmas and was like, I actually came out better because.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you got to watch that real careful, but that's also a hard market, because if you buy into that market, you go, hey, I've got these, I'm going to sell them about $8 cheaper. You can do that, but you also have to be aware that everyone else on the planet
can do that
has them in their shop.
Yeah.
And those guys are willing to try and beat the market and sell them for $35, which is cheaper than wholesale.
Yep.
So what happens is it can be a round robin where you literally eat your own tail. So you have to be really careful not to do that. We rarely have a sale. Sale puts you out of business. Like if you're having sales all the time, you're
giving everything away.
You have a sale all the time. I get it, maybe a holiday or something special. I don't get it, but like if you're having a bunch of them,
sales should be marketing, not a way to pay your rent.
That's right. Yeah.
And if you're doing that, you're already gone.
Yeah, you shouldn't be looking at a sale as something that's going to like catch you up with your with your
I understand
financing.
if you're like trying to
use it to get rid of stuff.
Yeah, blow out your last couple pairs.
It's to blow out inventory.
Yeah, exactly. Your last couple pairs, that last size, whatever it is. I get that.
So all those positives like that, we can get this gear, have a lot of negative effect down the road. So.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like right now,
I hate it. I hate it for the industry. I really do. It sucks all around because of it.
Yeah, it it trickles down to everybody, including the skater on the street.
Yeah.
Even the one that got a good deal, because his brand may not be available next year.
Yeah. Well, and like, or inversely, the shop that you would go to get, say, I got a board online, but I didn't get grip tape.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they're closed down. Oh crap! I can't get grip tape locally. Now I'm gonna have to wait for it.
No, I got to order it too, or something like. Well, you should have went down there.
On that note, glad you mentioned it. I'm gonna plug myself here.
Sure.
If someone walks in, and this has been from day one, if they walk into our shop, and I don't care where they bought it, competition, online, or anything, they walk in, they put it on our counter, we build that for free.
Oh, really?
So we
Cool.
always build for free.
Cool.
We'll work on your stuff. We'll get you rolling. We'll help you out. So
Sure.
that is something that
Oh, that's
a lot
cool.
of you walk in,
Yeah.
you didn't buy that from us, and we don't care. Here's a tool. Good luck. We will put it on the counter, show you what to do, put it together for you, and get you out the door whether you buy something from us or not.
That's legit.
And that's kind of from day one.
That's
we did
legit.
that, so.
I like that. I didn't know that.
I
didn't know
I
that.
used to work at the skate station, and them kids would just come in and be like, "Can you put this together?" And I'd be like,
Dude.
"Oh my gosh! And can you regrip it too?" And it's
You'll
like,
build a
oh.
lot of boards by
Yeah.
doing it.
Uh-huh.
You will also you're building customers.
Oh, yeah.
Sure,
You're
sure.
building
They'll
a
come back for
relationship.
whatever they
You're
bring.
helping that parent with their kid, teaching them how to do it, and they can build it the next time themselves. So
Yes.
it is a service, and it does have a really lasting effect. So
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I feel like I want to do something for that. Like, I want to help somehow. Like we have some Gnarkansas grip tape. I'll send you with some Gnarkansas grip,
Yep.
and we'll just maybe let's just say if you bought your board somewhere else and you don't have grip tape, how about this? How about if you bought your board somewhere else and you don't have grip tape, come to the Groove, and you have a free sheet of grip at the Groove waiting for you.
you know how many followers we have,
Dude.
how much grip? How much?
I'm not going to give you that many grip. Limited to,
While supplies
while
last.
supplies last. That's the
That's
term.
fine. No,
That's the term.
that's
But I'm down to do that. I'm down to do it. I'm sending you
Now,
with a
also,
bunch of sheets.
Just area wide.
Yeah.
We take donations. So if someone wants to drop off a deck that's pretty worn, some wheels, they buy new stuff, they want to swap that out, we give that stuff away. We have something called Free Gear Friday, but we do it all the time where somebody comes in, neighborhood kids, a skater walks in, he's like, man, I destroyed this wheel and I'm just out of luck and I don't have it. We give that gear away free. We don't resell it. It doesn't matter how new it is, what it is.
Right.
We have even customers buy trucks and wheels in the shop and throw them in our donation bin. We give that stuff away. Kids
Cool.
get it. People that need it get it. I probably give away more stuff than I should through my shop.
Sure.
And we're not just going to give something away free if someone walks in.
No.
If they come in and they're like, man, I need bearings and I'm short. I got one broken.
Right.
We're going to take care of them because we get enough donation. If I have the stuff, I'm going to put it out there. So that is something that's been from day one also.
Sure.
And a large amount of the community uses that service.
Sure. I mean, and I mean, I think that's feel like I want Gnarkansas to offer the grip for even just the thought of if you haven't been to the Groove, go.
Yeah, come
there's
check us out.
There's a free sheet of
got a
grip
new-
for
got a
you.
new spot now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of info. There's a lot of good and bad press out there.
Yeah.
So we tell everybody, come in and meet us.
Yeah.
We're a family at our shop. Come meet us, talk to us, see what we're all about, see for yourself, see why our reviews look like they do. I didn't know that was going to drive me in this industry of why I wanted to keep the shop going and support the community. But the people walking in those relationships is really the reason we have stayed with it like we have. It is, and I didn't know this when I started the business. I saw dollar signs, but it wasn't too far in. We started doing these things for the community, and it all started reciprocating so much that I don't make the money that I used to, but I love the community. I love having that service out there because, say, those dads come in to skate with their kid. Those kids come in and they're getting that gear on Free Gear Friday, and now those kids are setting up boards for the other neighborhood kid, right? I didn't realize that was going to be the driving force, but it changed for me.
Yeah.
So we do it. We're proud of it. I'm not sorry. That's how it is.
Sorry.
And so, we really want to push that. And it changed though.
No,
it's a whole different feeling and a whole
great.
different reason why that shop is open today and we do what we do
Right.
than when we opened our doors on day one.
Man, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. And I mean, I think that there's something that, you know, even just Gnarkansas being a part of the community, like we never want to stop. Like it's like it's something that you when you get pulled in, you don't want to stop contributing to that thing. And, you know, and it I can tell you guys, it doesn't come with money. It's not because of money. No. It's not the dollar sign that keeps this whole thing going. I wish it was, but
you got to have enough to keep.
It's not
keep the doors open. But I tell customers often in the shop, if this doesn't work and I can't do it the way I want to do it, and I can't keep Groove alive forever, I'll do this out of the trunk of my car on my day off if I have to.
Sure.
Because somebody out there is going to need gear, wants to skate.
Sure.
Or a kid that doesn't want to go home at night and they need something to do.
Yeah.
And that means more.
No.
But I didn't know that when I opened the doors. So
it's
I learned. Well, you see an opportunity in the community and you took it, and then you realize it's deeper than just
and
brick and mortar shop.
You're not going to know about that stuff until it occurs. You know, it's like it has to happen to you that you're like, oh,
bro, that's organic.
It feels good. Organic, feel good.
Yeah.
Type
and I
stuff.
had to take assessment there. I had to look at the shop, myself, my family, the people I've employed, and now I've got to go.
Does this fit?
Not
Does
as
this
much
fit the
money
vision
in this anymore?
Yeah.
Do I want to keep doing this? And I came to a decision for myself and for everyone else that absolutely I do.
I think
it's worth it. I'm getting a bigger reward out of it than I thought. So
I think now more than ever, anybody in skateboarding is asking themselves, "Am I still doing this or not?" You know, it's the time more than ever that we've had to ask that question.
I think so.
It's tough. Yep. It's tough.
But I've been broke before, so I'm not hurting. But if it comes up, it'll be fine. You know?
I've said very similar things.
I have that old sticker from Consolidated. It says, "Stay pure, stay poor."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's you know.
I've heard a similar one that people don't like.
No.
Consolidated.
We don't talk about that one.
Keep that out.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you know it's you know chasing after money, especially in something inside of a passion built industry. It's like you get weeded out eventually. And like, I mean, the one thing I'll say, and I said this off camera, say it again. You know, the Groove, you've proven that you wanted to stick it out with the amount of having to move locations.
Oh yeah,
is
That's
proof.
It's hard.
It's proof. Some people, when they get told they're getting kicked out of their location, they don't even get another location. They're like, yeah, we're still looking. We're still trying to find something that meets our budget. And they never find something. And then the shop just goes out.
I love the challenge. Yeah. Quite honestly, I wish my competitors would bring it a little bit more legit because I'm kind of bored.
Well, and maybe bring it with
it's good
like
for everybody.
Sure.
It stimulates it.
No,
all.
I get it. Yeah. Hey, competition's good.
Building
We
up
said
the
this
scene.
on this show. But it's like, if you're gonna bring competition, bring it in the right way and don't bring it in dirty ways.
Fair
I mean, it's just like straight up. Skateboarding is. I know that we're all skate rats and it's all trashy, and then I get it. But it's like we're civilized in the fact that like we're all doing this because we love skateboarding. We love the shred culture that comes from it, attached to it. We all live it, and we've literally said this multiple times. You're not getting rich off this. You know,
for real.
It's literally just.
Well, don't you remember back in the day? Everybody thought Neil was just loaded because he had the skate station.
Rolling in.
And then there became some bits of animosity out of that. Like, dude, he's up at Jose's every night till like 3-4 in the morning.
No,
and you're thinking he's making bank. Like, dude, this place is coming out of his pocket.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I've talked about Neil and the skate station before in the respect that people thought that he was taking money from the skate station and giving it to Jose's, the Mexican restaurant.
It was feeding Jose's.
And it was like, no. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
Jose's people probably don't know how tough it is to keep the skate shop open.
Right. Yeah. It's rough.
You know, because it's like it was literally like he was doing everything he could to keep
That's a
keep
service
that
to
place
the
open.
community.
Yeah.
I learned to drop in at the skate station.
There we go. Didn't know that.
And then
Didn't
I
know
went
that.
back when they were on school down south.
Yeah, 2.0.
Yep. And that's also where I and my son learned to drop in on roller skates too.
Oh,
So
cool.
when that started being a thing,
Yeah,
that's where
roller skaters really started coming
Yeah.
to that place.
Yeah.
that's where it was. It was the spot.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, Neil literally, dude, it's so selfless.
It's
to
weird.
he did so many businesses to try to keep skateboarding alive, and like that's like the most selfless thing that somebody can do is to like literally have other businesses fund a business that is not able to support itself, but still
kind of the same way as
doing
Border
it.
Town. It just didn't support itself. It's an impossible market that they were in. It sucks, but
They held on for a while.
Yeah.
10 years. I think it was at 10 years.
Which seems crazy.
Which is crazy to think about. But, you know,
They were there a long time. I cleaned out their back rooms.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity to make a deal and purchase a lot of their old
and
stock.
glad that you did. Glad that you did.
And push that out. You know, we were able.
That's great.
No telling where it would have ended up, but
For sure.
we got a good deal. They got a good deal. We cleaned the place out. They're pretty good for them. But you could tell it was 10 years of stuff.
10 years
in the
of
back
stuff.
room.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And actually, I learned a lot from that. But it's hard to keep that big. That's a lot of space.
Well,
that's a lot of air conditioning. That's a lot of everything. Insurance.
Nick had a big task on his plate, and it's not easy to run a premier skate shop. Like to actually dive in and have such a hard push towards a premier status.
Big brand, big nonprofit behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, it is losing money battle.
It's very tough to say that would
know a
work
couple of
outside of a
those.
metro area.
Yeah, like they've been there in metro areas. Those
Yep.
type of big brand, big nonprofit type things.
Yep, absolutely.
I think most like indoor parks in general are great for the community. We need it, but that's the other side. Somebody has to do it. It's the same as events and funding. Like the shops that are doing that, we're taking that out of our pocket.
Yeah, it's time and money that you're not
if
earning.
you're doing a full event, that can be a couple of grand, and you're just taking that out of your own paycheck because the shops they're not pulling enough to throw money away. So
I can see that all day.
Well, I don't want to go. I'm going to go too deep into the negative stuff. Do you? Is there any plans that you guys have coming up that you want to promote or shout out on the show?
Well, definitely. I know it's not.
You said adult night.
Skateboard. We do have the
Adult night.
Roller City, Springdale on Century on Wednesdays. It's 7 to 10, $10. It's adults only, 18 and up. Huge diverse crowd, and there's actually a lot of skateboarders that come to that as well.
Cool.
As far as outdoor, we are just now setting all of our stuff up. We're in the new location. We're comfortable. Spring's here, so we will be announcing. Just watch our social media. We will be announcing events, parking lot jams, some stuff downtown Springdale, some things like that. So just watch it. As soon as we get our schedules together, we'll start dropping that out there and doing those.
Very
so
cool.
we're not slowing down. Just took a little bit of a break with this broke back thing. But but we're back and we're out there and just keep a close eye on it.
Any new gear in the shop? Anything that just landed that you want to?
Well, what just landed sold.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
The Godzilla drop that just closed on pre-order, so that's coming up in October. So we've got some gaps in these. We've got some Series 15, I think. Peralta's coming through. We do carry Juvenile.
Juvenile got the
definitely have
stuff in.
Your guys' collab in Gnarkansas.
Yeah, well, maybe we should send you some 875s.
Yeah,
maybe
I don't know. Send me something that doesn't sell. But
please sell it.
Get that. We also have Villain. That's
Villain. Yeah.
He does a great job.
Man,
those are generator made. Like
no, absolutely, they're great and great
wheel,
graphics too. I want to point out.
Really are.
I've always seen and step up over the years too. Like Villain's been around for a long time, and like more recently, I just seen some like really cool graphics come through.
Job. Our wheel is also, we have a collab wheel with him, and that our wheel is also its generator. I can't say brand, but I can say it's just like Spitfire. So it's made in the same place. It's a really nice, good formula. So our wheel that comes through the shop and Gabe's wheels as well are that. They're absolutely top notch. So we're not trying to pass off that
cheaper stuff.
white label stuff.
That's right.
It's good gear.
That's right. Yeah. That's very cool, dude. Yeah.
So that's all I got,
man. That's great, dude. No, and honestly, we're coming up to the 2-hour mark. I said it. I'll say it again. It's easy.
You're still dyeing wheels?
We're still dyeing wheels. Yeah.
That's cool.
If you purchase wheels in shop, if I have the color and it's mixed up and ready to go, if you don't mind waiting, we'll put a color in those wheels. We get as close as we can. On custom wheel dye, you're looking at, if it's really complicated, you want like solar system or splatter paint or something, I'm going to charge you for that time.
But you can do it.
But we can do it.
Damn.
Otherwise, you're looking at $10 for me to dye a set. Even if you got some old grungy ugly ones, we can throw those in and dye them black. They'll look pretty darn clean for a while if you want to clean up your stuff.
That's right. Michael had some newer ones done.
Yep.
And I was like, what?
It's like it's best to do it with new though, right? Like,
it's the best situation for us because it doesn't dirty up our dye pods.
Easy. I see.
I bought some pink smaller ones from you. You dyed for my kiddo's board.
Yeah, and other parts too. So like tails, grind rails, that kind of stuff we can do. We do custom drilling. So if you've got some crazy longboard truck situation and you want those set up, we will do that work as well.
Gotcha.
Custom grip cuts.
Yeah.
We are about a month out from offering die cut, laser cut grip in the shop.
Oh, like
so
custom.
Come in and bring us artwork.
That's cool. Yeah.
We were going to do that with decks, and the logistics of it's a nightmare. So we are going to stick with the grip, but that should be moving pretty soon. And new shirt design should be hitting here in the next 30 days or so.
Very cool.
We're going to test it and see how that goes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Dude.
Sweet.
Stickers are always free. If I have them in stock, they go quick.
Stoked.
But we come in, get a sticker. We hand that out. They're always different. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm stoked, man. Great episode.
Yeah.
Talked about a lot of skate shops, Arkansas skate stuff.
Like I said, close to 2
not
hours.
Not too dramatic.
Not
Thanks
too
for having
dramatic.
me.
Yeah. Dude, no, we're down to keep it kosher. And go ahead, Brad.
I did bribe 2 family members with stickers to follow our Instagram.
Okay, good. Yeah. So we do have 2 paid followers.
I recommend it. Stickers are amazing. They'll end up everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, dude, we're stoked to tell the story of Arkansas skateboarding, and the Groove is a part of that, dude.
Heck yeah, well, we're glad to be it, and we'll back anybody the best we can.
Absolutely.
More to come.
Absolutely.
More to come.
Yeah, we moved. We're not going anywhere.
That's right. Nice. I like that. We'll end at that. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. See ya.